What up, everybody? It's iPadBeatmaking.com here today on Wednesday, April 21st, 2021, giving you some iPad Pro reaction quotes. Now, if you enjoy this video, please be sure to hit the like button, as well as the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss out on the latest news, tips, tricks, sales, beats, reviews, updates, and more. So let's not waste any time and let's just get to it. And the event definitely lived up to the name. It was a loaded event. There was a new iPhone 12 in this different color variant. There was AirTags. There was also a new iMac, a new Apple TV, as well as the thing that we all came for if you're a watcher of this channel, and that was the new iPad Pro. Now, running down the list, I think the other things are cool. I think it's great that there's yet another color of the iPhone. I like the AirTag idea. I think it's pretty cool. The Apple TV looks really nice. I don't know how many Apple TV users there are here, but the Apple TV is a really cool device, and I like to see the updates it's getting. The remote makes a lot more sense. The original Siri remote from the newer generation Apple TVs, you know, there were some areas where it could be improved. The touchpad is nice, but still, you know, I like this remote a little bit better, so I'm looking forward to checking that out. And the iMac, I mean, I don't know if I like it or not. I like the color on the back of it. The front of it, I don't know. I wish the bezel was a little bit thinner. Yeah, it just doesn't quite feel very Apple, if I'm being honest. Something about it doesn't quite feel very Apple. However, the power cord is really cool, and it allows you to have Ethernet built into the power, and it goes with this little MagSafe adapter. Really cool cord on that. Now let's talk about this new iPad Pro. Now, many people said that it couldn't be done, that it would be an A something chip in there, and that M1 was just impossible. Even when we were speculating on it, people were still saying, oh, there's no way an M1 could be done. It's not as simple as you think. There's so much more that goes into it, and yet here we are with an M1 chip. So I don't think that anybody who was a naysayer about the M1 chip was wrong in the concerns that they had. It's just that Apple is so far ahead of the curve that they were able to factor all those things in and still manage to get it done. So thank you to those people who kind of were skeptical about it ever happening. You gave me a lot of perspective, a lot of education on why this would be a very difficult thing to pull off, and shout out to Apple for actually getting it done. This is huge news. And we also got Thunderbolt ports, which we also predicted. And the Thunderbolt ports are something to really be excited about. I know a lot of people are probably like, what difference does it make? It's just a Thunderbolt port. But that professional port just opens up so many doors for equipment uses that just, even if you don't have any Thunderbolt items that would need this, the very fact that you can have it means that manufacturers are now going to take iPad into consideration when they're making their products, when they're making Thunderbolt interfaces and things like that. Instead of it just being an outright, yeah, what's the point of even thinking of iPad? It won't work with it anyway. Now you got to factor that in. You got to say, hey, we got this huge audience here that has Thunderbolt iPads, and are we going to factor them in or no? How is this going to work? Now you actually have to deliberately leave out iPad from that consideration when building a Thunderbolt interface. So this is incredible news, and I'm anxious to see if audio manufacturers update their interface firmware to now work with iPad Pros and things like that. And another thing I like about the Thunderbolt interface is that it kind of draws a line in the sand. Now if Apple decides, hey, these iPad Pros are going to be able to do these things and the normal ones won't be able to, I think the public will accept that. They'll say, hey, it's a Thunderbolt device, it's a lot more pro, it's got an M1 chip in it. We can't do it with the A series chips, or we can't do it with the USB-C alone. We need that extra level. And people will, I think, accept some of the limitations that are probably gonna happen with the segmented market that happens through the Thunderbolt and M1 chip being there. Now, I know the big question is, what about Logic Pro? What about GarageBand Pro? What about any kind of software that really kind of takes this to the next level? And the way I feel about that is kind of like this, right? Whenever I've seen like cities do major improvements, redevelopments, new money coming into the city, condos going up into the sky, things like that, the first thing they tend to start with is the infrastructure. They lay that groundwork, and then after that, you're able to get the big buildings that come along with that. But first, they have to plan it out and lay out that infrastructure. I say all that to say that I believe that we'll see the software improvements and the result of these actions today coming up in probably June at the developer conference, and later this year overall. I think this is gonna sit with people for a second, and they're gonna say, well, we just spent this time optimizing our software for the M1 Max. How does that port over to the M1 iPad? Does it work? And if it works and the two kind of have a handshake, I think we're gonna end up seeing a lot more desktop class software end up on the iPad, the same way that a lot of the iPad software is now ending up on the Mac. And a lot of people are telling me on their M1 Max that, yeah, iPad software does work, but it's not really optimized for it. It's not really the best experience. I still prefer to use it on my iPad, but it's cool that I can also have it on my Mac if that's how I want to use it. I wonder if we'll get the same kind of outcome on the iPad, but everyone just take a deep breath. I think we're gonna get the Logic Pro or GarageBand Pro or some other pro level DAW experiences on the newest iPads relatively soon. And by soon, I say next 3 to 6 months. I know that sounds like forever, but hey, some of you guys are still rocking 2015, 2017, and like us, the 2018 iPads. And if we've been able to go this long and make it work, I don't think 3 to 6 months is too much more to ask. Now, I have no evidence to back up this claim. It's just a prediction I'm making because I think when the developer conference happens, that's when we're gonna see people pulling out their best stuff and really trying to showcase the stuff on the software side. A lot of people weren't in the know about this latest iPad and what it means. If Apple didn't directly reach out to a manufacturer or a developer, they just were in the dark like the rest of us until the thing came along, other than hearing rumors, speculation, things like that. Now, let's talk about a couple things I'm not too happy with. The first thing, yeah, as predicted, only the 12.9 is going to have the mini LED display. I do, of course, wish that that made it into the 11. I mean, why not? Another thing that I'm unhappy with is, while I like the fact that you get a 2 terabyte option now, I don't like the pricing actually. I feel like if you want like the 2 terabyte, I think you're like at 21 something. And I think if you want it with like LTE, you're like at $2,300 or $2,400. That is crazy prices. You're like in real MacBook Pro territory at that level. And so I really wish that there was a cap of, I don't know, $1,800 all in, 2 terabytes with the LTE, $1,800 to $2,000 tops, right? $1,800 for the 2 terabytes with the Wi-Fi, and then like $2,000 for the option with the LTE or the 5G or whatever they're calling it. I just feel like storage shouldn't cost that much. It's just a huge leap. So I was really thinking, hey, we're gonna go all in. We're gonna do the 2 terabyte, 12.9. But looking at those prices, I'm kind of like, maybe 256 or 512 isn't so bad, just use the cloud services or use external drives to save stuff too. But what do you think? Will you be springing for one of these new iPads? What'd you like? What'd you dislike about it? Oh, they dropped the new Magic Keyboard case color. Wow, that's really nice. What do you think of the color? I think I'm gonna stick with the black just because I know how lighter colors get when they're supposed to be cases or skins. They tend to get dirty. The black has been working, so I think we're gonna stick with the black. But what do you think? I wanna know your thoughts. Tell me your plan. Are you grabbing it? When are you grabbing it? Which one are you grabbing? The 11 or 12? Which storage variant? Are you going cellular? Are you going Wi-Fi? What iPad are you upgrading from? Do you have an iPad at all? Why are you getting an iPad instead of a Mac of some sort when you can get a MacBook Air or a Mac Mini or even an iMac for cheaper than the most souped up iPad Pro 12.9. Share your thoughts please with me in the comments section down below and give everyone some insight into your way of thinking. And yeah, those are my initial impressions. I know this video is a little bit late, but hey, better late than never, right? But with all that said, we're about to get out of here. Please be sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, as well as the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss out on the latest news, tips, tricks, sales, beats, reviews, and more. And be sure to check out some of the best kits available for iOS at iPadbeatmaking.com. It's iPadbeatmaking.com. Peace.